Hello, beautiful team. Today, we are talking about rewiring your subconscious mind. So this is where the work has to go to, right? Because if we continue to react, we will create no changes. So today, we are going to learn how to rewire our subconscious mind so we can step into our path, step on our path, feel so grounded in our path that we are unshakable. And that's really the goal of everything. So to start with our subconscious mind, I want to talk about homeostasis. Why? Number one, because I'm an anatomist, and number two, because your brain tries to control everything because it thinks that's what it has to do. So what is homeostasis? It's part of your autonomic nervous system, which is just part of your nervous system. The brain controls it, but it keeps you within normal limits, AKA it helps keep your body internal temperature, right? That's how you know you have a fever or not. Your blood pressure has these normal limits, 120/80 beats per, your heart rate beats per minute is between 60 to 80 beats per minute. So the homeostasis is basically what creates these normal functionings within the body. It gives doctors kind of a place to start, right? Do you have a fever? Is your heart rate too high? Are all of these things going on? So basically your brain controls homeostasis. It also controls your comfort zones. So sticking with the nervous system, but just not so much in the physical body. Homeostasis is things we can feel. You know if you have a fever. You know if you're too low. You know if your heart rate is elevated because you can feel it. So rewiring the subconscious mind is still controlled by your brain, but it's just things that you can't feel so much. So we have to tune in. The best piece of advice I can give you is meditate. Why? Because it helps slow you the freak down. And it helps you find the stillness, the pause between the breaths. And that's where the work happens. And that's where all of your answers are. So rewiring your subconscious mind looks like replacing the old patterns with the new patterns. So you start to learn and put things into practice. What it looks like is interrupting the loops. So you can think of your partner or your spouse, whenever you're in a fight with them, your first reaction when they address you with an issue might be defensivism. So you put up this wall, you put up this block. That is your reaction to them coming at you with an issue. You are reacting versus responding. Responding would look like hearing what they have to say, seeing, is that a truth for me? Is that something that I did? Or is that something which it doesn't even matter. But recognizing that, how do you react so that you can change that into more of a response? And this is all through the brain. So what it looks like is interrupting your patterns, interrupting when things start to happen. So the next time your partner or spouse comes to you with something, notice if your wall goes straight up. Instead, find a pause, find the breath. Tap in with the breath. As soon as you find yourself getting stressed out in traffic, if you're waiting at the doctor's office or any office, and normal things where you start to get stressed out, check in, pause, find the breath, and then check in with your breath. So are you breathing? Lengthen the inhale, lengthen the exhale, and see if you can calm the nervous system. Calm the subconscious mind so you can start better responding as the adult self that you are would. The next thing I really want to talk about is really when you ask yourself, why is this happening to me? That happens to us a lot. Something will happen and we get into these kind of negative downfalls. Why is this happening to me? Instead of asking yourself, why is this happening to me? Because it's already happening. What are you going to do about it? I want you to ask, why have I attracted this? So instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Your replacement for that is, why have I attracted this situation? Energy is never created nor destroyed. Nothing comes to you that you can't handle. So why have I attracted this situation? And what are the beliefs that have caused this? What are my belief systems that have caused this to happen in front of me? But then Better yet, how is this serving me? Is there a lesson you need to learn from it? Is there a guide that you need to follow up on? Is there something else that you need to do, a different sort of an action step? So instead of saying, why is this happening to me? You say, how is this serving me? How is this going to serve me? So you can always see the positive in every situation. With that being said, you are accumulation of the 5 people you hang out with the most. So choose wisely. Because if you are trying to attract more positivity and you're hanging out with girlfriends and guy friends that just sit around and bitch and gossip and do all of these negative things, complain about themselves, don't love themselves, show themselves self-hatred more than they show themselves self-love. And same thing with their gossiping about different friends. Again, more hatred, less love. You need to find a new group of people. You need to surround yourself with the energies that you want to feel. Energy can never be created nor destroyed. It can be altered. Right? So if you are happy and you go hang out with negativity, notice how you feel next. You probably won't feel as happy as you once did. So keep that in mind. You are accumulation of the 5 people you hang out with most. With that being said, you are also accumulation of what the heck you surround yourself with. So are you living in clutter? Are you living in a mess? Do you watch all fighting negative movies and killing and scary and negative emotion type things? And same thing with the music you're listening to, and same thing with the books you're reading and the podcasts you listen to, right? How do you what energy do you put yourself in every single day? It needs to be positive. It needs to be happy and healthy and love. It's not bad to watch a lot of killing, fighting movies, but what are you doing that is cultivating and creating more happiness for you in your life? Things to think about, and tiny little minute changes. This is one of the best pieces of advice I have for you, because rewiring your subconscious mind can bring up a lot of fears. This is all of our self-doubt. This is why we live in our comfort zones. This is why we never like to step out, because of this little 4-letter word called fear. And really all that fear is false evidence appearing real, or fuck everything and run. All of those fun fear acronyms. I think acronyms. But the best piece of advice to live outside of your comfort zone on the daily is to make tiny little minute changes. So if it's the podcast you're listening to, if it's the movies or the TV shows, tiny little changes. It's small. With that being said, make small other changes throughout your day. So if you're the person who always goes and gets your almond milk caramel latte, extra hot, double foam, I don't know how to order fancy drinks, but all of these other fancy things, change it up. What if you just got coffee with almond milk, right? Small changes, they may feel so big for you, so I'm not trying to discredit that. Small, tiny changes. If you always listen to a podcast on your way into work, if it's positive, keep it. If it's just nonsense, maybe you try and keep the music off. See what that brings up to you. The more tiny little discomfort that you can live in every single day, the easier it will feel when you have to take the plunge. And we all, entrepreneur, mom, spiritual, yogi, anybody, you're gonna have to take the plunge into fear every now and then. But if you are living in the tiny little discomforts every day, challenging yourself every single day to step out of your comfort zone, when you have to make that big plunge into fear, it's not gonna feel so scary. I can promise you that. But it starts with tiny little changes every single day. Tiny changes. That is all that it takes to create one big change. That goes right into the saying, in 100 days, you would have wished you started today. So what tiny little discomforts can you welcomely invite into your day today, so that in 100 days, when you need to take the plunge, it doesn't feel so scary. when you are thinking about the 5 people you hang out with, I also want you to think about who you're surrounding yourself with in the form of success. And this doesn't have to be how much money they have, the fancy cars, any of the material goods. It could be just two people, a couple that you have that just live this happy, healthy marriage. Because you shouldn't ever be the strongest, most successful, again, however you identify with success, you shouldn't be the most successful person in the room. Number one, that's ego. Welcome to the ego. But also, it's easy and comfortable to be the most successful person in the room. You need to find a new group of people. Not saying you need to leave your group behind, but find a new group of people. Because if the people you're surrounding yourself with aren't evolving or aren't evolving at your pace, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be stuck in that subconscious mind. Same thing goes with your money. If you are not happy with the $10,000 you have in the bank right now, if you don't love it, if you don't nurture it, if you don't really have this really grandiose feeling about it, how is that going to change when you have $100,000 in the bank? You're not going to love that money. It might sound great, especially if you don't have a lot of money right now. But I can promise you this, if you don't love what you have, that includes money, that includes your car, that includes everything, you're not going to love it when you have more. And to be honest, you're probably going to be so low vibe that you're not going to be able to attract more. Because again, energy, never created nor destroyed. The law of attraction states what you send out, you get back. So the more love you surround yourself with, the more love you embody, the more love is going to come back to you. And money is high vibe. Money is high vibe. So is love. So is joy. So is bliss. And so is forgiveness. Different things to think about. This might be getting your mind going on all the things you need to forgive, the people, the places, the things, but also just creating more love throughout your day. It's that simple. Living in the discomfort, but loving it. Start small so that when you need to take the plunge, you are equipped and you are ready. And the last piece of advice I have for you is really goes into vision boarding. So, right, if you have the $10,000 and you want the $100,000 in your savings accounts, you need to, number one, love what you got now so you can love what you can potentially have. But it's not just about saying, I have $100,000 when really you only have $10,000. Your body knows the difference. You can't lie to yourself. I'm sure you know that by now. So the biggest change I can have for you as you are and definitely create a vision board. If you're into cutting pieces of magazine out or printing things off or Pinterest, whatever, create a vision board so you know that the things that you're trying to manifest, so you know the vibration that you need to be in, and it's probably going to be super high vibe. But the best thing I can say is that you can't lie to yourself. So what can you do instead? Start to change your verbiage. And it looks like, instead of saying, I have $100,000, I have $100,000, because again, you're going to lie to yourself. You can't trick your subconscious mind because your brain is smart. You say, I am in the process of cultivating $10,000 in my bank account. I am in the process of cultivating or having or embodying whatever, $100,000 in my savings account. This can look like anything. I am in the process of finding 10 spiritually aligned clients. I am in the process of forgiving my ex-boyfriend. I am in the process of so on and so forth. I am in the process of healing. I am in the process of finding enlightenment, right? Not to just sit here and say, I am enlightened, I am enlightened, I am enlightened. It's not going to work. You are in the process of. So based off your vision board, start creating these positive affirmations. I am in the process of, which then leads us into gratitude. You have to love what you already have. So if you'd like, you can start a gratitude journal. I have one that I run through, and every day I write up to 10. 10 is my max, but I'll write up either a few or all 10. And it's fun, number one, because every day you write a few more. And eventually you're going to have a million things that you're grateful for. And how awesome is that? When you find gratitude in the small things, you will find gratitude in the bigger things. And therefore, you will create more things to be grateful for. This goes back to the law of attraction. After that, after you do the work, after you surround yourself with love and good podcasts and feel good energy and feel good music, you need to surrender. Because only in the surrender do you find the divine. Only in the surrender do you get your messages, your mission statements from God, from Spirit, whatever you want to call it. But you need to trust, because you might not know how you are going to get your $100,000 in the bank that you are in the process of creating. You just surrender it, because who cares? As long as you got it. But you have to get quiet, and you have to get still, and you have to surrender. Only then will the divine give you what you are asking for. Only then will you be able to hear the mission, the statement, whatever you need in order to cultivate this $100,000, whatever you're looking for. So, to wrap this up, surround yourself with good people, good energies, good music, good movies. Step out of your comfort zone just a little bit every day. So when you have to take the plunge, it's not so hard. Find gratitude daily. Don't lie to yourself. You are in the process of, and have fun doing it. Notice, can you cultivate and surround yourself with more love daily? Notice as you start responding instead of reacting, if you can respond from a place of love, respond from a place of we are all the same. And the things that people are bitching to you about have nothing to do with you. They have everything to do with themselves. Listen to others, but don't let them step you into the fear. This goes back to anybody who, newly engaged couple. So newly engaged couple walks in the room and they say, oh, we're newly engaged. Notice the people that are happy for them. They're probably living in a happy marriage. They're happy in their marriage. And the people who are telling them to be careful are the people who either have been divorced or are unhappily married, right? So don't rely on other people. You have to just surrender, rely on yourself. Surround yourself with good people too. And know that this is just a practice. Rewiring your subconscious mind is a practice, so do it daily. Challenge yourself daily, but absolutely surround yourself with love daily. And notice how the responses start to change. Notice how your reaction loops start to change. You are not your thoughts, but you have the ability to change them subconsciously. So you may not be able to feel it, but notice, do you find yourself happier throughout the day? I love you guys. Good luck. Please know that I am here. Let me know what you need as you start to rewire this beautiful subconscious mind of yours.